This is The Negro Speaks of Rivers, one of my earliest poems written in 1920, just after I came out of high school. I've known rivers. I've known rivers ancient as the world and older than the flow of human blood in human veins. My soul has grown deep like the rivers. I bathed in the Euphrates when dawns were young. I built my hut near the Congo, and it lulled me to sleep. I looked upon the Nile and raised the pyramids above it. I heard the singing of the Mississippi when Abe Lincoln went down to New Orleans, and I've seen its muddy bosom turn all golden in the sunset. I've known rivers, ancient, dusky rivers. My soul has grown deep like the rivers.
In Langston Hughes' The Negro Speaks of Rivers, Hughes outlines a history fiction of the Black American people, which serves as a beginning to a culture vastly expanding and becoming more complex through the passage of time. Whereas Hughes relates the culture of his people mostly to their time before reaching America, the culture he helped put into words has grown into an important part of America and its history. We root for and identify with Black heroes in our movies. We pay money to see the incredible things people like LeBron James can do on a basketball court. The leader of our country is a Black man. Despite Black people making up only about 13% of the American people, according to the most recent U.S. Census, we constantly see that America is actively assimilating into Black culture. That said, a certain level of animosity between different races still makes itself present during times of controversy, such as the recent Trayvon Martin ruling. After fatally shooting high school student Trayvon Martin, George Zimmerman was acquitted of all charges against him, which left many people unhappy.
This evening, hundreds took to Crenshaw Boulevard to vent their anger over the George Zimmerman verdict, most causing no harm, but some groups damaged property and even attacked bystanders, including 2 individuals kicked and punched at a bus bench at Slauson. Later, groups headed south toward the Crenshaw Baldwin Hills Shopping Plaza, where more than a dozen, some pushing shopping carts, dashed inside the Walmart.
Violence here is something that takes the spirit of this prayer vigil that was here in this park and desecrates it. It takes the wishes of the Martin family that asked for nonviolence and disregards it. If you truly care about the Martin family, if you truly care about the underlying issues, the last thing you should be doing is taking to the street, stealing scooters out of people's hands, assaulting people, smashing windows, scaring drivers or pedestrians. And so, yes, that line is drawn.
Instead of being united as Americans seeking justice, we again found ourselves separated into categories: white or black, Republican or Democrat, persecutor or persecuted. In his poem Justice, Hughes writes, "Justice is a blind goddess, is a thing to which we black are wise." For a Black man living in a country which enslaved his ancestors and treated him with hostility, this idea is understandable. Scholar W. H. McClendon gave his own theory as to why blacks may feel hostility in times of controversy. He once wrote, "The formation of Black people into a positive ethnic entity occurred in North America when they first banded together to share concerns and cope with problems related to their captive status." Basically, McClendon is saying Black culture formed out of a need to cope with problems. If true, those roots combined with today's still somewhat racist culture could help explain the hostility, creating an us-or-them society. Either way, conflicts between races are inevitable, because conflicts between people are inevitable. The important thing, as Hughes points out, is how we turn negative conflict into positive conflict. Hughes seems to denounce hostility and instead encourage turning the other cheek by laughing and eating well in his poem I Too. His argument in the poem appears to be that nonviolence begets acceptance, and those guilty of racism will feel the shame of their actions. This stance is one we as a society should get behind. We can't stop controversies or racism from happening, any more than we can stop the sun rising each day. The key is to look past these obstacles and strive to be better than our ancestors. Hughes writes in his poem History, "The past has been a mint of blood and sorrow. This must not be true of tomorrow." If we fail to heed this warning and denounce a somewhat inherent hostility different races harbor toward each other, we are doomed to repeat the same cycle of violence again and again.
I too sing America. I am the darker brother. They send me to eat in the kitchen when company comes, but I laugh and eat well and grow strong. Tomorrow I'll be at the table when company comes. Nobody'll dare say to me, "Eat in the kitchen," then. Besides, they'll see how beautiful we are and be ashamed.